Sinabi mo yung mga unang na-terminate na voucher program for senior high school 2021? Noong time na yun, meron ng iniimbestigahan o na-terminate?
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, to clarify, yung na-terminate natin na schools, 22 schools first po, no? Yung kanilang, ang nakita natin na mga discrepancy, covering school year 2021-2022. But they were terminated in February 2023.
So, ibig sabihin po, mga 2022, nagsasubmit yun, di ba, ng billing.
Correct po.
So, yung sinubmit for 2022, tiningnan ng DepEd yun, Feb pa lang ng 2023, meron ng mga na-terminate.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. That is with the assistance of the Private Education Committee.
Yes.
Private Education Assistance Committee, si PAYAC po. Kasi they go to the schools mismo po for monitoring purposes and they check all the details of the learners. Number one, they check the school registry, yung SF1 po natin, kung nandun po ba officially enrolled yung mga
Attorney
bata.
Tara, no? Ibig lang sabihin, para klaro lang yung timeline. Yung mga na-terminate na schools beginning 2021, sa totoo, na-terminate sila noong 2023.
Yes.
For their billings na 2021, based on the coordination with PAYAC.
Correct po.
That's correct. Sa PAYAC naman, at that point in time, ilang percent nang namomonitor ninyo ng mga private schools? 100% na kayo by 2020, 2021, 2022?
Mr. Chair, no, it's still 10%.
So, ibig sabihin, yung nahuli, o hindi naman nahuli, na-flag nyo, maaring sa 10% pa lang yun ng total number of private schools. So, it can still be beyond that. Is that correct?
It could be. It is a possibility, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
tama. Possibility lang. Kasi ang nakita nyo lang, 10% na minonitor ninyo na na-terminate ng Feb 2023. So, para maliwanag lang yung timeline, ano? 2021, may mga nag-billing na na-terminate ng 2023 based on the coordination between DepEd and PAYAC. And PAYAC, at that point in time, was monitoring still about 10% only of the private school, senior high school voucher program. Correct? Yes. Attorney Tara, bago ko i-recognize si Honorable Fresnedi, sinabi mo kanina 4 na category. Para maliwanag sa lahat, ano yung 4 na category?
The first category po is yung significant number of absent students during the monitoring visits whose absences cannot be satisfactorily explained by the school administration. So this is a situation where PAYAC goes physically to the schools and then request all the beneficiaries to line up talaga, or roll call. Okay. And then, wala po sila. So, significant number. So, yun po. Number 2, they are billed, or the beneficiaries are billed under specific school campus, or but they attend in another school. The third category po is yung they are enrolled but have not attended classes since the start of the semester. And the fourth one is they are billed multiple times in the same school or different participating schools.
Uusapan natin ngayon, Attorney Tara, is only with respect to the fourth category. Kasi yung fourth category, ito yung effectively, ito yung allegedly ghost. Kasi multiple schools na ka-enroll eh. So, hindi naman siya pwedeng na-transport to all schools, di ba? So, what the DepEd announced is with respect to only the fourth category first.
For the terminated schools, Mr. Chair, hindi po the fourth lang. Lahat po nito, tinitingnan po nila. And
Yes.
Yun yung sabi ko po na hindi ko mabigay yung tamang number because of the different categories that I mentioned.
Kanina na-define ninyo yung ghost students, di ba?
Yes.
What is the definition again of ghost students? Para maliwanag.
Those are the 4 categories po.
So, as long as they fall under any of the 4,
yes.
considered silang ghost.
Yes po.
Under the department orders ba, ano yung significant absence? Ano ba ang requirement para maging entitled to maging entitled to a voucher? Kailangan ba pumasok ng at least 1 week? Pumasok ng 30 days? O kailangan natapos yung buong SEM o yung buong academic calendar? For a school to be in private school to be entitled to a voucher?
Ideally talaga, Kong, Mr. Chair, the subsidy is for the whole year. Yes. So it doesn't say that kung makapasok lang yung bata for 1 week or 30 days, you're already entitled, because the department orders says lang po na if pumasok na po yung bata for at least 30 days, you can start billing the department. But this doesn't say pag naka 30 days lang po, babayaran na po namin kayo. It did not say that, because the subsidy is really for the whole year. Yes po.
Honorable Fisnedi?
Ano ang basis ng DepEd for allocating funds doon po sa private schools?
For the senior high school?
Yes, yes.
So for the senior high school voucher, it's really I forgot yung law lang po, no, but it's the law that extended the K to 12. Kasi po we already have the junior high school ESC, which is a law po, no, our Republic Act 8545. And then when there's a Republic Act 10533, it extended po the senior to senior high school. Kaya po, yun din po yung naging legal basis natin to provide senior high school vouchers po to grades 11 and 12, Mr. Chair.
Meaning to say, if the private schools is entitled or they are already beneficiaries of junior high expanded scholarship program of the government, they are automatically qualified for senior high.
For the ESC, yes po, Mr. Chair.
No, ang tanong ni Honorable Fisnedi is for senior high school. Hindi for ESC, for junior. Ang tinatanong niya, kung grade 10 completer ka, are you automatically, is the school that accepts you automatically entitled to a senior high school voucher?
Okay. So, there are two categories po kasi sa senior high school voucher program, Mr. Chair. What we call the automatic grantees. The automatic grantees are two. Number one are those na you are a completer sa public school and you want to pumasok po sa private school, automatically po pwede na po kayong pumasok sa senior high school voucher program. Number two po is yung automatic ka pa rin kung ikaw ay nanggaling sa private school pero ikayo na po ay isang ESC grantee. Yun po. So those are the automatic grantees. All other categories po is you need to apply via the online voucher application portal para po kayo ay ma-screen, and then that's only around 40,000 slots that we give out, and then that's the time po na magbibigay po kami ng voucher.
Sometimes there are private schools that the beneficiaries cannot afford additional expense that being collected by the private schools that sometimes make this program in a particular area not successful, no, because of the families or the beneficiaries cannot afford to pay additional expense for the sustenance of their how do you address these problems?
For that, Mr. Chair, that is also the limitation of the program, because the program, both ESC and senior high school voucher, only pertains to the tuition fee. So yung pong tinatawag natin na top up po, wala po talaga tayong, that's the limitation. Hindi po tayo pwedeng magbigay po noon sa mga learners po natin.
Pero kasi po yung kapasidad ng pamilya ay makikita natin talagang kahit na malayo ang schools, public schools, ay they continue na doon sila nagpupunta dahil wala silang pambayad. But can we not have a program that subsidize further para po yung pamilya talaga na cannot really afford na to support their children to enroll in these schools identified as beneficiaries of the program, para doon na at least wala ng additional cost po. Can we not make a program that provide additional subsidy, identifying the families?
Mr. Chair, will look into that because baka po may mga, yun nga po, no, limitations because the law says tuition fees. I'm not sure if we can by ourselves lang na sa DepEd to create a program without any legislation na pwede namin i-support yung even the transportation of the learners. So, we'll try to look into that, Mr. Chair.
Kasi po, naging local chief executive ako, yan ang talagang familiar na challenges na nakakarating po sa amin, no? Na inaamin naman ng mga private schools administrator na talagang meron silang additional na kinukolekta, which yung pong mga beneficiaryo, hindi po kaya talagang papaaralan doon sa mga private schools na yun, na mas malapit sa kanila. Baka siguro ay pag-aralan natin para kung gusto natin talagang matulungan yung mga bata, yung mga pamilya, ay at least maging successful ang program.
I fully agree. Attorney Tara, you will look into that? Because may nagre-raise ng hands na iba that want to either support what Honorable Fisnedi said or so can we recognize first from PTA, Miss Irene? Pakisabi, sorry po. Can you state your name and the association or institution you belong to?
Good morning po, everyone. I'm Irene Rocha from PTA Advocates of the Philippines, Laguna Chapter President. In support po dun sa sinabi ni Representative Neni, sorry po. Totoo pong nangyayari yan, yung sinasabi po niya. And yun din po yung question ko pa kanina. Kasi, nalaman ko lang dun sa kaibigan ko yung program na to. Kasi from private school sila. Siya kasi, may kakayanan siya. Mayaman siya eh. Kasi manager sa Toyota yung asawa niya. And at the same time, businesswoman siya. Siya pa ang nag-grant ng gantong voucher. Kasi sa school daw nila, paunahan, first 100. Pagka nag-apply ka sa voucher na yon, makukuha na nila. So, nakakuha siya. Yung iba na walang kakayanan, kawawa naman sila. So, dapat, kasi very limited lang pala per private school yung voucher program nila. Parang merong numbers lang per school na inilalaan yung voucher na yan. So, paano po yun? Kaya kanina ko pa tinatanong, paano, sino bang makikinabang sa mga po yung sinasabi ni Representative na sino nga dapat po categorize or ano natin, parang, kasi kami sa school, meron kaming adopt a child, kami mismo mga parents, sinusuportahan namin yung ibang mga estudyante na walang kakayanan, inaano namin sila, ini-screen eh. So sana po, sa part na ganyang klaseng program, i-screen po sana. Kasi alam naman ng mga private schools kung sino yung wala talagang kakayanan. Kaya lang kasi, siguro dahil sa ganitong program at hindi ganon kahigpit or kulang ng standard, naabuso. Ina-abuse nila yung ganitong program kasi makikinabang sila. Sorry for the word po. Pero totoo naman po yun, na nakikinabang sila dahil ganun lang kabilis kapag nag-submit sila sa DepEd, babayaran sila. And yun po yung sana magkaroon tayo ng standard para dyan. And doon po sa sinasabi kanina, support po kay Atty. Lara yung sinasabi niya, yung pong 4 categories para ma-terminate nila. Di ba po may student numbers? Unique po yun. Bawat student, meron po silang student number. So, para po maiwasan yung mga ghost or mga yung sa under 4 categories, pwede naman pong ma-look into it ng DepEd kung yung mga batang yun nandun sa ganung school or kasi matatrack po ng record ng DepEd through the student numbers kung nasa ang school siya. So bakit para maiwasan yun, dapat chine-check din po yun. Yun lamang po. Thank you so much.
Yes, Ma'am Irene. In fairness po, no, I think, in fact, yun yung sinasabi sa atin ng DepEd kanina pa. Kaya sila nakakapag-categorize dun sa 4 kasi ginamit nila yung LIS system o yung Learner Identification System. Doon nila, pareho na sinasabi nila, doon nila nalaman. And in fairness po, my understanding is since 2022, 2023, ay pinapairal na nila to. That is why nakapag-terminate sila ng schools na humihingi ng kabayaran para sa voucher program na simula 2021. Kasi tama ho kayo. Yun yung ginagamit nila, yung LIS system na yun. Yes, sir. Please state your name and then the institution you belong to.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, doon po sa sinabi ng aming President from Laguna and kagalang-galang Congressman Pasnedi. Sa ngayon po ako doon sa binanggit ni Atty. Tara kanina na dapat gumawa tayo ng legislative itong ating committee na ito to support para ma-trace po natin yung sinasabi nating ghost student. And actually, doon po sa sinasabi ni Congressman Presnedi, kami po sa Rizal, we have an island, no? Totoo po yan, Congressman Chair Presnedi, Mr. Chair, na nabanggit ng aming isang presidente from Laguna, na karamihan ng mga estudyante from island, which is Binangon, Talim Island, connected po yon sa Cardona, no? Na karamihan ng mga estudyanteng ito pa yung walang matanggap. Which is sadly to say, on this committee, hindi lang po yun ang problema pati yung mga nasa bundok. Tama po, Ma'am Atty. Tara. Siguro po yung legislative ang makakatulong kasi napakalaking bagay po bilang kami po ay hindi man kami kinikilala ng DepEd as PTA advocate, as interim po ninyo, pero nandito po kami bilang NGO para maging watchdog sa ating mga kababayan. Napakalaking bagay po kasi na meron po kayong katuwang. Total po, nandito rin po ang PEAC. Pwede nyo rin po kami kunan ng information. Andito rin po si Sir TDC na lagi po namin katuwang sa complaint ng mga guro at ng mga mag-aaral, ng magulang. Kumakatawan po kami. Humihingi rin po ako sa ating chairman na yun po, siguro po madagdagan yung ngipin. Dahil wag pong magagalit ang DepEd. Kalimitan po kung saan may pondo, may korupsyon. Nakakalungkot kasi hindi lang po magulang, estudyante po ang nabibiktima ng nasabing korupsyon. Marami pong salamat.
Unang-una, no, para maliwanag tayo, kasi lumalabas dito, merong nasasabi na baka may legislative gap. Di ba po? Pero, kung titingnan po natin yung Department Order number 46 of Series 2015, mismong Department of Education, sinabi naman po niya dito, di ba? Recognizing the need for additional support to students due to the added 2 years in basic education, the state, through Republic Act 10533, which is the K-12 law, further expanded Republic Act 8545 to provide financial assistance to qualified grade 10 completers entering senior high school. So para sa akin, hindi ko makita kung nasan yung legislative gap. Kasi ang DepEd mismo nagsasabi na sa Department Order Number 46, Series of 2015, na nabigyan sila ng kapangyarihan na ma-extend yung voucher program to 11 and 12 under Republic Act 10533. Baka naman yung pagkukulang hindi sa legislative gap, pero pinilit ng DepEd na implement na hindi siya handa. Kasi kung talagang handa sana ang DepEd, sana na hindi na limit doon sa mga tinatawag na yung una pa lang, yung meron pa lang permit to operate or whatever you call it, dapat katulad ng ESC vouchers, dapat may cohort na. Ang problema, pinilit ng DepEd noong 2013 to 2016, pinilit nila na implement yun na yung senior high school de 2016. Pero hindi nila pinaghandaan yon. Kasi hindi ko makita yung legislative gap eh. Kasi based on the own Department Order 46 of 2015, rine-recognize yan na sinabi nung K-12 law, pwede niyong ibigay yan sa mga qualified. Pero it left it to DepEd to define this. Pero pinilit ng DepEd na 2016, implement na. Wala namang enough number of DepEd senior high school classrooms sa panahon na yon. That is why sumama kayo. So, again, hindi ko sinasabi na tama yung na final ito, pero sana tingnan din ng DepEd kung talaga bang kailangan ng legislative intervention pa ba? Or hindi naman totoo? Kasi dapat makatotohanan rin tayo eh. Kung ang mali dito ang DepEd, pwede naman mabago yan through department orders eh. Maging mas stricto kayo, malagyan nung, kasi by now may cohort na eh. By now, meron na nag-graduate ng grade 11 and 12 sa mga private senior high schools, pwede nyo nang matingnan yun. Baka pwede nyo nang i-apply yung ina-apply ninyo sa junior high school ESC. Pero para sabihin kasi na may legislative gap, baka hindi naman accurate yon. Kasi again po, baka magpasa na naman ng batas, hindi naman po kailangan. Baka naman pwedeng pag-aralan ng DepEd yan, pag-aralan ng ating mga NGOs. Kasi baka umalis tayo sa meeting na ito, na pag may nagtanong sa atin, bakit nangyari itong allegedly may ghost students, dahil may legislative gap, which from my point of view, mukhang hindi totoo kasi sinabi rin naman ng Department Order 46 na may basihan na sa batas eh. So baka naman corrective measures lang internally ng DepEd ang kinakailangang gawin.
Mr. Chair, may I
Yes,
clarify?
Attorney Tara.
Yes po. From the comment po kasi of Congressman Fresnedi, he was talking about that gap po na sa amount ng voucher na binibigay po natin sa mga bata versus yung pong required talaga no na mga additional costs ng mga bata when they go to private schools. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct po.
Para maliwanag wala nang kailangan na I guess you will take a look, but offhand, parang hindi na naman kailangan ng legislation pa para masigurado lang na ma-apply yung ESC standards sa junior high school sa senior high school voucher.
For the standards, Mr. Chair, walang problema po yun.
Okay, so no need for a legislative.
Yes. What I was saying, Mr. Chair, was that because of the request of Congressman Fresnedi to add an amount on top of the tuition fee that we are providing already. Yun po. Yun yung, kasi very clear po tayo sa batas na yun po yung tuition fee lang po talaga yung ating sinishoulder doon. If I was correct po yung narinig ko kanina kay Congressman Fresnedi, it's about like the transportation, additional top-up na sinasabi natin or miscellaneous fees po na gusto pong ipa-shoulder siguro po sa DepEd, which I think hindi po siya saklaw po dun sa nasakop po dun sa batas.
I think, Mr. Chair, in order for this program to be successful, I think the DepEd should always review the program and come up with some recommendations or proposal to make it successful. We are implementing programs we are spending money, the government spending money, and yet we find out those who needed most ay hindi po nagiging sila ang nagiging beneficiaries, no? So you come up also with the proposals if it needs legislative action. The committee naman ni chair I always open to discuss anything that would make educations in this country successful po.
Correct po, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Manuel, before I recognize you, gusto ko lang susugan pa yung sinabi ni Honorable Fresnedi. Nung 2007 to 2010, nung first term ko dito sa Congress, alam ko na nag-uumpisa na po talaga doon ng voucher system sa junior high school. Pero wala pang senior high school din. Sa pagkaalala ko po, nung panahon na yon, may guidelines na ang DepEd. Una, kailangan ay congested yung DepEd school. Pangalawa, dapat lilipat lang siya, yung estudyante na dapat nag-enroll sa DepEd school, lilipat lang siya sa kalapit na private school. Those standards were there before. Sinabi niya ng DepEd So, ngayon po, narinig ko kanina, medyo malayo nga lumipat So, does DepEd have a school mapping nung lahat ng DepEd schools at yung kalapit niya, yung katabi niya, mga private schools na qualified para wala na yung extra cost yung transportation because ang punto nun, punong-puno kasi yung DepEd school So, kung magkatabi lang naman, nasa isang barangay o kalapit na barangay, lilipat lang yung estudyante dun sa private school na malapit sa kanya. So, there should not have been too much additional cost dapat dun sa estudyante. So, may school mapping and has that been followed?
Okay. Mr. Chair, before, wala po talaga tayong school mapping, but right now, we are working with yung tumutulong po sa atin sa parang system of mapping number one, yung congested na mga junior high schools and senior high schools natin na mga schools, and then identifying also yung mga nasa nearest po na mga senior high schools and junior high schools na participating po. We are working on that po na system kasi kailangan po siya ng school mapping talaga na system po, hindi po pwedeng lang.
In other words, Attorney
manual.
Tara, yung standard na naalala ko noong 2007 to 2010 o 2009 na kailangan lumipat ka lang dun sa private school na malapit rin kung saan ka nakatira, kasi doon ka nga pumasok dapat sa DepEd, that is still being followed by DepEd right now with the senior high school voucher or not?
No, Mr. Chair.
Hindi na nasusundan yun?
Hindi na po.
So, isang lapse yun.
Yes, Mr.
Do we
Chair.
need a legislative intervention
No.
or no?
No.
Yun, kayang-kaya nyo nang gawin. Hindi na kailangan ng
Yes.
batas na bago doon.
That's right, Mr.
Pwede nyo
Chair.
nang gawin yun. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yung tungkol ngayon sa sinasabi niya kanina na para makapag-graduate yung learner na lumipat sa private school, hindi ba talagang, sa totoo, ang sinasagot lang ng DepEd from 2007 to 2010, magkano ba? Yung buong tuition fee po ba? Or part lang ng tuition fee?
It's just a part lang po kasi subsidy lang po siya, a portion.
Ano ang agreement ng DepEd sa private school even at the time? Kasi tinanggap ng private school Hindi ba may agreement naman na kahit papano ay that should be sufficient? Or wala?
There are private schools, Mr. Chair, na kung ano lang po yung binibigay natin na voucher, yun lang din po yung tuition fee nila. They don't require any additional fees for that. But there are other private schools po na meron talaga silang mas mataas pa po yung kanilang
So
tuition
nagre-require
fees.
pa sila sa estudyante na mag-top up pa?
Yes po, may additional
Ang question
po.
ko ngayon, bakit tinatanggap ng DepEd yung ganong arrangement? Hindi ba dapat ang arrangement with that private school is sufficient na yung naibigay? Kasi yun nga yung point tinanggap mo yung program. You have to accept the program as written by the DepEd, which is, ito yung kaya namin, punong-puno kami, kunin yung estudyante, ito yung bibigay namin because Hindi ba dapat ganoon ang program ng DepEd?
It's just a subsidy kasi, Mr. Chair, eh. So we can't also
Okay.
dictate to the private
That is correct. So
schools.
dapat hindi ba dapat pag-aralan ng DepEd kung tatanggapin natin ang private school na ito sa system namin o hindi? Because kung
Based on the
magre-require
tuition
pa
fee?
sila, kung magre-require pa sila ng top-up from the student, tama si Honorable Fresnedi. Ang mangyayari po dyan ay hindi talaga yung nangangailangan na yung talagang nasa ano natin, yung nangangailangan talaga ng tulong kasi at the end of the day, mafo-force rin siya na mag-drop out o wag na pumasok doon kasi hindi rin sasapat yung pondo. So hindi ba dapat pag-aralan ng DepEd na bago ka pumasok sa program na ito, referring to the private school, dapat you accept hindi ba dapat ganon?
So, Mr. Chair, we are also looking at that. Meron po kaming gagawin na study po, yung targeting the beneficiaries. Sino ba talaga po dapat yung mabibigyan namin ng voucher? And also the schools and the voucher amount. Yun din po yung tinitingnan natin kasi for the longest time, yan lang po yung amount na binibigay natin. That's ranging from 9,000 to 13,000 for the junior high school and for the senior high school around 14,000 to 22,500. So hindi pa po natin siya na-adjust po talaga din, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Attorney Tara, ang question ko, assuming ma-increase niyo pa yan, uniform, based on, kasi uniform niyo ginagawa eh. Sabihin natin, mabibigyan niyo ng 30,000 per school, per learner. Hindi pa rin enough yun for some schools. So mapipwersa pa rin yung estudyante na mag-top up. Ang question ko nga, hindi ba dapat if you're a private school and you want to participate in the voucher program, you accept what the DepEd will provide you at hindi ka nahihingi sa estudyante? Is that a possibility or hindi?
We will look into that, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Kasi kung hindi ganun ang program, end of the day, talagang first of all, kung galing ka sa mahirap na pamilya, papasok ka ng private school, hindi mo matatop up eh. Hindi talaga. So, ang mangyayari, nagbibigay tayo ng pondo, sayang rin kasi hindi matatapos yung estudyante. Or, mag-a-apply na lang dyan talaga yung may kaya na rin. Diba? Kasi yung may kaya na lang, para makakuha rin siya ng tulong from the government. So, hindi yung objective sana na matulungan talaga yung nangangailangan. So, does that need a legislative intervention or will the DepEd on its own be able to take a look at this nuances?
That portion, Mr. Chair, we can take a look at that.
Sige,
po.
so hindi na rin kailangan ng legislative intervention.
No need po,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Para maliwanag lang. Honorable Manuel?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In connection po dun sa daloy ngayon ng ating discussion dito sa committee, kasi nga pwedeng naka-avail ng voucher yung isang estudyante, pero meron pa ring difference dun sa amount ng voucher tsaka sa total na dapat bayaran ng estudyante. Ibig sabihin, mag-shell out pa rin ng some amount. Ang tanong ko po sa DepEd, meron bang system or paraan para i-monitor kung magkano ang sinisingil sa mga estudyanteng beneficiaries na ng voucher pero meron pang ganong top-up or miscellaneous fees? Kasi sa pagtingin natin sa mga private schools, kung meron naman talagang batayan, halimbawa, lalo sa mga maliliit na private schools na maliit naman talaga yung profit margin nila at very crucial, no, yung cash flow para sa kanila, pwede nating tingnan, no, kung nararapat din naman yung mga sinisingil nilang fees. Kasi it is my belief, Mr. Chair, na kung hindi naman talaga mapatunayan na essential, halimbawa yung mga fees na dinadagdag pa or sinisingil pa on top of the voucher, hindi na dapat yun singilin kasi it would be unjust sa bahagi ng estudyante tsaka ng kanilang pamilya. So, at least kung merong fees, i-check lang na meron talagang napupuntahan, nararamdaman na nagagamit yan for facilities or sa sweldo ng mga teachers at ng mga personnel. So, yun yung question, Mr. Chair. Namomonitor ba yung ganong mga top-up or miscellaneous fees?
Mr. Chair, meron po tayo sa ating co-manager po ng implementation ng program na ito. The private schools will have to input their tuition fee and all other fees. So I think Mr. Rod Malonzo can expound on that po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, we do collect data on school fees, tuition, other and miscellaneous fees of all participating schools in senior high school and junior high school. And that's also the reason why we're also able to provide sometimes when CBEC is asking for data on school fees, because we collect it as soon as they create their billing statements. Now, we are also aware that there are several schools that are require top-up, meaning that the school fees that they charge is significantly higher than the subsidy being provided by government. I'll give you a case na siguro in NCR. The average school fees, total tuition, other than miscellaneous fees in NCR of all participating schools in the junior high school program, the average is at 42,000 pesos already. Yet, in the ESC program, we only subsidize 13,000 pesos. So this is a very significant difference in terms of the average school fees, So that's why we're also working with DepEd on how to increase the subsidy for the ESC program, so that we can attract we can attract learners from families from poor families. Kasi right now hindi talaga siya, I mean, pag nakita mo pa lang yung babayaran mo na difference sa top up, syempre hindi na yan mag-attempt na mag-enroll sa isang private school. But these are, in fairness to DepEd, they've been asking for this data all the time. And I think one of these days they plan to study it also on how to increase the subsidies in both ESC program for junior high and the voucher program for senior high school.
Mr. Chair, sa mga pagkakataon halimbawa na nag-avail ng voucher yung estudyante or naging beneficiary siya ng voucher. Tapos, kasi may mga instances din na during the period na nakapag-enroll na, so akala ng estudyante or ng pamilya ay kung meron mga difference, bayad na sila upon enrollment, pero habang or during the duration of the academic year ay meron pang sisingilin or biglang may mag-a-arise pa ng mga dapat bayaran. Kung may mga ganong pagkakataon tapos hindi na ipapaliwanag saan gagastusin yung ganong mga tipo ng fees, paano ba, ano yung sistema para man lang merong opisina kung saan pwedeng dumulog yung ating mga pamilya? Kasi syempre kung within the school, the school would assert na kailangang singilin yung ganong fee, pero para man lang merong paraan para ma-oversee ng ating mga ahensya yung ganito mga sinisingil. So saan po sila pwedeng lumapit? Anong mechanisms for these kinds of feedback mula sa ating mga students and families?
Hindi. Mr. Chair, yung sa ganyan na particular case po, well, the Government Assistance and Subsidy Service, hindi po yun kasama sa aming mandato because it's only really for the tuition fees. And kung pasok po sila dun sa ating voucher recipients po na qualification. So, for those na private schools sila na learners, tama po ba, Mr. Chair? And then, hindi sila voucher recipient, pero nagkaroon sila ng mga unpaid tuition fees. Yan po yung parang tinitingnan natin kung paano tutulungan. Correct po ba ako, Mr. Chair, ng pagkaintindi? Kasi kung yan po yun, hindi po siya part po nun sa aming government assistance and subsidies. Because we work only on the laws.
Attorney Tara, intindi ko rin sa tanong ni Honorable Manuel, paano kung bigla lang in the middle of the academic calendar, may additional fees? Kasi yun yung problema eh. Kung wala kayong kontrata na maliwanag sa private school, na sagot, ito lang ang mabibigay, kailangan tapusin yung until one academic calendar, kung walang ganun maliwanag na kontrata o usapan, paano kung in the middle nga of the school year, biglang magkaroon ng additional fees? Hindi na kaya baka hindi kayanin ng learner.
Tsaka Mr. Chair, dagdag din doon kasi nga kung as mentioned kanina, ang isang idea ay taasan pa yung amount ng voucher para dun sa mga private schools. Pero in the first place, kung hindi rin natin monitor yung rates na sinisingil, edi pwedeng may leakage talaga dun sa funds na galing sa pamahalaan tapos mapupunta sa private schools. Pero hindi din natin monitor talaga saan siya napupunta. So sa atin naman yung value lang nung perang ina-allocate natin.
Can lead to bullying eh. Kasi biglaan lang may additional fees eh. Kasi syempre yung estudyante ngayon, ayaw naman niya malagay siya sa alanganin, so hindi na ako mag-enroll sa private school. Kahit na kailangan ko talaga makapasok. Kasi baka mamaya, kung walang maliwanag na patakaran eh, ang DepEd na with the private school concern, na hanggang dito lang. Dapat patapusin mo yung academic calendar man lang. Kasi kung hindi, talagang paano nga ako magbilang magpataw ng additional fees? Wala tayong recourse doon. So I will first recognize the member,
Yes.
Honorable Fresnedi, Director Eco, and then Sir Luis, and then Sir Benjo, then Ma'am Lourdes. Yes, Honorable Fresnedi.
I just would like to know the utilization rate on this program from the DepEd. The utilization rate of the budget on this program.
Attorney Tara.
Yung utilization rate po sa GASPE program po is around 90% po yung ating utilization rate. Mataas po tayo.
Pero mataas yung utilization. Pero yung output, ano ang tingin? I mean,
The number of beneficiaries po na nabigyan po natin ng voucher po. Yun po yung
pero
natin sa
yung
physical.
attrition rate ng mga ano.
Sir Rod,
7%.
may attrition rate ba kayo yung hindi talaga natatapos nung academic calendar nila?
Mr. Chair, it's at around 7.5%.
What is 7.5?
From the start of grade 10 to grade 12,
Oo.
or sometimes grade 7 to grade 10, 7.5% of our beneficiaries actually transfer to public or sometimes drop out of
Hindi,
school.
ang question is, kunyari pumasok ka na ng grade 11,
Apo.
nag-voucher system ka sa senior high school voucher. Ang tanong, dun sa 100% na binigyan niyo ng voucher sa grade 11, una, ilan ang natapos? Nakagraduate ng grade 12? Meron ba kayong datos doon? Pangalawa, may tracer system na ba kayo kung nagkakarera sila after that? O nagtuloy sa kolehiyo?
I'll answer first, Mr. Chair, yung question on attrition. Yes, we do have data on attrition. Right now, it's at, I think for senior high, it's at around 10%. No? For grade 11 to grade 12.
So lahat ng binigyan niyo ng voucher simula grade 10, 11, 10% lang ang hindi nakakatapos ng grade
Ang nakakatungtong po ng grade 12.
12? 10% lang nakatungtong?
No, 10% po ang nawawala. Nawawala, opo. And then, we just have to check lang yung kung ilan po ang nakakatapos talaga, yung graduation rates po natin.
So ang meron lang kayo, kunyari grade 11 nyo bigyan, 10% sigurado ninyo nawawala
Opo.
to grade 11. This covers all or yung 10% lang na minomonitor ninyo?
Now, that's for the voucher, all senior high school voucher program participating schools.
So doon, meron kayo. You are able to monitor all schools. Pero sa monitor na natatapos sila until grade, nakakagraduate, nakakapunta silang grade 11, pero hindi nyo mamamonitor kung talagang, kasi 10% lang na mamonitor ninyo eh. Pero 10%, sabi mo kanina, 10% lang na mamonitor ninyo, pagdating kung actually talaga, ay nakatapos sila. Buong academic calendar nagawa nila. Yun ang sinabi mo kanina sa amin eh. 10% lang. Pero ngayon, meron kang 100% na nakikita niyo yung natatapos until grade 11.
Okay,
Hindi tumutugma eh.
Just to clarify yung 10%, no, the initial 10% that we mentioned was the number of schools that we monitor, that we visit, or we check the documents for their
Yes.
to verify if their VPBs are actual enrollees in their school. Now, the question on the other 10%, which is in the dropout rate or the attrition rate, refers to the number of beneficiaries that was billed in the previous school year in grade 11 who eventually enrolled in grade 12, so that we can monitor 100% from grade 11 moving to grade 12. That's because they report it in our system.
Yes, pero ang hindi nagtutugma eh. Ito sinabi ninyo, yung binigyan ng voucher sa grade 11, 10% lang ang schools na namomonitor ninyo. The other 90% hindi nyo actually alam kung yung estudyante nakapagpatuloy, natapos niya yung buong grade 11. Yun yung consequence na sinabi ninyong 10% lang ang namomonitor ninyo. Tama?
Now, what we say, yung monitoring kasi na yon is yung physical checking of,
Correct.
of
That is
their
correct.
existence in the school.
That is correct,
Opo.
10%.
The 10% that I said that dropped out are those from moving from grade 11 to grade 12. That's the whole cohort.
Correct,
Of
pero
voucher program.
kung 10% lang ang namomonitor mo of schools, paano mo biglang namomonitor na accurate yung attrition rate mo na 10%? Kasi yung 90% nga, hindi nyo nga namomonitor yun eh. Whether physically, kasi hindi mo makikita sa LIS yun eh.
Yes.
Maaring yung pumasok ng grade 12 is an entirely new set of students that transferred from, kasi pwede sila mag-transfer eh.
The reason why we can monitor yung grade 11 movement from grade 11 to grade 12 is because our systems are based on the learner reference numbers of the VP of the learners. So if, for example, learner number 1 was billed in grade 11 school year 23-24 and then moved to grade 12, makikita namin na nabill uli siya as learner 1 school year 24-25.
Again, that is where, that is kung
namomonitor
saan medyo may inconsistent, medyo mali. Kasi kanina, sinabi sa amin ng DepEd, there are 4 categories. So, maaari sa 4 categories na yan, nag-enroll ka sa grade 11, after 30 days, lumipat ka ng DepEd school. That is possible rin na mangyayari sa grade 12 by the same student. Is that correct? Pwede rin yun.
Yes, that is correct.
But then, what is the accuracy of the 10% attrition you're telling us? Kung sa totoo, hindi naman pala nakapagpatuloy talaga doon. Pero, because the 4th category, there are 4 categories mentioned by DepEd to us of what they call as alleged ghost students. And in those 4 categories, there is one doon na nag-enroll ka sa private school ng grade 11, after a certain number of days, umalis ka na. Meron nga doon na completely wala ka doon pero nasubmit yung name mo If you only check 10%, baka naman yung sinubmit nila ng grade 11, yun yung na-resubmit nila ng grade 12. And that covers yung 90% na hindi nyo na face-to-face.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, the way we monitor
Is
kasi
that
the
possible?
Schools, no, because if once it is flagged as with findings in grade 11.
Yes, but that is only 10%. That is the 10% that you have flagged.
Yes.
Paano yung 90% na hindi nyo natingnan face-to-face? Sinabit ang pangalan sa grade 11, 90% to, hindi nyo naman nabantayan. Sabi mo kanina. So grade 12, i-resubmit nila. Nasa grade 12 na namin yan.
Yes, correct. Pero
So what is the accuracy of your answer response na 10% lang yung attrition rate? When the 90%, admittedly, hindi nyo nga na-check paano kung rini-submit yung name na yon from grade 11? Di ba grade 11 nag-submit ng 10 names? 10 names na lang. Sa 10 names na yun, na-check nyo isa. 10%, di ba? Okay. Yung isang yun, na-check ninyo. Yung 90%, hindi nyo actually alam kung nag-enroll yun o hindi. Ngayon, pag pumasok ng grade 12 yun, same names, yung 9 na yun, na hindi nyo naman na-check ng grade 11, that can be resubmitted sa grade 12. Hindi nyo na-check And they will appear sa LIS rin. Ang LIS is moving yun It is at that point in time na na-check ninyo. Na-check kayo, baka beginning of the school year, 30. Pwedeng sa count ninyo, accurate. Pero sa totoo, alleged ghost na rin siya under the 4 categories.
there is a possibility that sa 90% na meron talagang
Correct. So you cannot tell
issues.
us na yung attrition is 10% and be very confident that that is 10%. For the simple reason na hindi accurate yung data Kasi nga 10% lang of the 100% na na-check nyo ng 11, yung 90% pwedeng yun na nagpatuloy sa grade 12 na allegedly ghost under the 4 categories. So paano natin malalaman na successful yung program? Kasi it perpetuates the lie. Kasi nangyari na, hindi natin nabantayan ng 11, mauulit sa grade 12. Mali ba yung logic na sinasabi ko? Pero yun yung logic kasi, di ba, 10 estudyante raw sa grade 11, 10% ang mamomonitor mo face-to-face, yung 90% di nyo nakita. E paano kung na-resubmit yung names na yun sa grade 12? You also would not know. There is, kailangan may sense of, may common sense ang ginagamit rin, di ba? Data is so important eh. Hindi na-check eh. Attorney Tara?
Mr. Chair, i-clarify ko lang po. Yung 10% po ni PAYAC na sinasabi are the schools, 10% of the schools that they monitor. Okay. Next po, yung sinabi po nila na 10% attrition rate, it's because the billing statements ngayon, ang chine-check po nila sa grade 11, kung sino, yung, ang basis lang po ng attrition rate po.
You're playing with end of the day. O sige, ilang students ang 10% nung schools na yon na na-monitor ninyo? There are 4,000 plus schools, private schools, under the senior high school vouchers program. Yung 10% na yon na re-review nyo nung grade 11 sila, ilan yung total population nun? Yung 10% lang. Kasi iniiba-iba lang yun ninyo eh. But at the end of the day, that should mirror each other at one point in time eh.
Correct, Mr. Chair. While there, with the numbers ng Mr. Chair, I also want to inform the body yun po yung 100% natin sa LIS, yung sa chine-check po natin sa Government Assistance and Subsidies Service. So, all of the billing statements go through us, 100% po. And then, pina-flag na po natin yung hindi natin nakikita na mga estudyante doon sa billing statement mismo and we don't pay them. So, with that, nag-usap din po kami sa PAAC na that is the point of billing kasi when we receive the billing. But right now, we will also check those na nag-second semester, and then those also who will graduate. Yun na po yung bagong na
In the LIS, after second semester, kasi the current guidelines in the voucher program states that if the grantee or the VPB drops out before the end of first semester or transfers to another school, then the school should refund. So what we're going to do right now is 100% validation that is being actually inaayos na po namin yung mga system so that the LIS and the system that we're using can really talk and identify this voucher program beneficiaries. So, yes, opo, that's really one of our major thrusts this school year because of the findings in the previous school years that are very alarming actually. And apart from that, really, we really want to push for senior high school certification to address yung fly-by-night schools, those who are just putting up schools because of the voucher program, dahil alam nila na may makukuha silang pera. So we do hope that this gets approved, yung senior high school voucher certification, so that eventually malinis po talaga yung mga senior high schools natin na nagpa-participate sa voucher program.
Mr. Rod, Attorney Tara, for that certification program to be instituted, do you need a law or hindi?
Definitely not, Mr.
See,
Chair.
so again, walang legislative na kailangan dyan. You can do it on your own. Again, Mr. Roda, ang akin lang, Attorney Tara, because there was a question on the attrition rate, and with confidence, sinabi nyo 10%, that may give a wrong impression on people na, ay, 10% lang pala yung kakamali. Hindi eh. Hindi natin sure pa yun until now. Simply because hindi na wala pa naman tayong monitoring system for the 100%. Yun lang sa akin. But again, I'm grateful na nakita ko yung efforts na ginagawa ng DepEd and PAYAC right now. Pero syempre, pinag-uusapan natin yung past pa dito eh, so that we can help you move on. But with that, Mr. Luis, you were raising your hand.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lucio po, from Health. Okay lang po. Mr. Chair, I would like to follow up yung tanong ni Congressman Manuel. Kasi tinanong niya po kanina, aling opisina or pwedeng paghainan ng problema noong na-encounter. Halimbawa, given na Congressman Manuel, Mr. Chair, na sa kalagitnaan ng taon, biglang nag-charge yung private school. Na? So, as stated po, wala talaga silang malalapitan para sa complaint, para sa tulong. Dahil, Mr. Chair, tama po ba, Congressman Manuel, yung tanong kanina na nasa kalagitnaan na siya ng schooling, bigla ang may mga additional charges sa private school. So, nag-decide si parents and the learners, wala silang malapitan. So, titigil na lang si learners, susuportahan na lang siya ng parents. So, yan po yung isang malaking factor, siguro, na sabi nga po ni Atty. Tara, sorry po, overload na sila. Hindi nasakop ng kanilang jurisdiction yung sinasabi na lalapitang offices para sa complaint. Am I right? Tama po ba?
To be accurate, I
Yes
think
po.
yun namang parang wala na sa mandato niya.
Yes po.
Yun ang,
Considerable naman po yun kasi sa sobrang dami naman po talaga ng load ng ating mga kaguruan, no? Sobra po talaga. Yun naman po. Siguro po, Mr. Chair, ma'am, sa DepEd po, sa PAYAC, siguro po, yun po yung isang problema natin, no? Na matagal na rin po, nahaloon po, naghahanap po rin po tayo na ang concern organization na pwedeng dulugan nitong ating mga kababayan, nitong mga learners, nitong magulang, para makapagpaabot ng reklamo sa PAYAC, sa DepEd, sa CHED, sa kinaukulan, pero wala po talaga kasi overload po talaga yung government. Anyway, Mr. Chair, sinuportahan ko lang po yung tanong ni Congressman Manuel kasi talaga pong malaking katanungan sa ating mga kababayan na wala tayong malapitan para idikit o idulog sa mga tanggapan yung problemang yon na nagiging isang dahilan para po masayang ang pondo ng ating gobyerno. For example po, halimbawa po yung sinabi ni Congressman Manuel, Mr. Chair, yung po isa namin taga-islang kababayan, nalipat siya doon sa senior high school which is nasa mainland. Nag-additional. Pero dahil pinaglaas loob lang ng magulang na makatapos yung bata, pinangutang niya. E paano po yung hindi malakas ang loob ng magulang? Wala po. Yan lang po, Mr. Chair, and marami po salamat.
pero Mr. Borja,
Yes po, Chair.
I think
Mr.
pagbigyan
Chair.
din natin yung DepEd makasagot. Hindi pa natin sila pinapasagot doon sa query ni Honorable Manuel
Yes.
na sinang-ayunan po ninyo. Paano nga, saan pwedeng dumulog ang isang o wala talaga? Hindi, ang point is that should still fall within your mandate for the simple reason na yung estudyante nga part ng learner voucher program eh. Pero kalagitnaan, sinisingil sila bigla eh. So meron ba wala bang bureau, office or something na pwede silang puntahan? PAYAC is the one to answer? Okay, PAYAC.
For if the school is charging beyond what is announced or approved or submitted to DepEd, and the learner is participating in the ESC program or voucher programs, then you can always call us or email us regarding this issue. Actually, we do resolve some of these issues kasi we do receive complaints from parents that they're charging beyond what is declared. No, sometimes meron lang misunderstanding between the program kasi akala nila minsan may mga parents tayo ang akala is once nasa ESC or voucher program 100% na wala na silang babayaran, not knowing na meron palang top-up na approved na fees or submitted na fees to DepEd. This is what we do explain.
Sino nag-submit?
School. Ang school po. Nagsasubmit po kasi ang schools ng kanilang school fees for the school year prior to the start. Opo.
Assuming na...
Yes.
Oh.
Opo. Assuming na meron pong naniningil beyond that,
Yes.
no, sa amin po, pag voucher program po ang pinag-uusapan pag ESC.
Bakit sa
Opo.
PAYAC pupunta?
Opo, kasi nalalaman po namin na dapat,
Teka, bakit sa PAYAC?
Apo.
Ano yung authority ng PAYAC na to decide these matters?
no, para sa ESC at saka voucher
Correct,
programs.
we're not
lang
talking
po.
about anything
Opo.
else here
Kasi,
but the senior high school vouchers.
nakikita po kasi namin doon kung
Sige,
magkano-
kunyari may magulang o may bata na pumasok ng private school, grade 11, under the the senior high school program. Ito yung usapan bilang may additional na fee. Lalapit sila sa PAYAC?
Yun po ang ginagawa ng ibang mga parents right now.
Hindi, ano yung
that we
proseso?
also entertain.
Ginagawa ng iba? Yun ang tanong eh,
Apo.
saan sila lalapit?
Mr. Chair,
Director
if I
Quinta.
may. Yes po. So for the voucher program, so for private schools first, they need to apply for any increase in tuition and other school fees with the regional office. So, tas pag approved po yun din po yung dapat na nire-report nila in the voucher management system as their school fees. Yung approved lang po by the regional office. Now, in the voucher management system, nakalagay po, so yung school fees nila and then the top up, ay, the amount of the subsidy and the top up. So, alam lang po dapat yung difference. Now, all voucher program participating schools are required to orient parents. It's a requirement of their participation in the program. So, dapat po, na-disclose na po. Opo. Yes.
Paano nga kung, ang tanong na lang nga eh, paano nga kung hindi may dinagdag bigla?
Yes. So, kung ang dinagdag po nila is beyond,
Correct.
is parang hindi po nila na-inform yung parents beforehand, then that's a violation of their participation in the voucher program. Kaya po PEAC first. Pero
So,
if
ang magulang
dinagdag po,
pupunta sa...
PEAC. Yes po.
Oo.
Kasi yung po dapat po na-orient nila part yun ng requirements. Opo. But
Punta
if-
silang PAYAC muna.
Yes, pero if ang dinagdag po nila is even beyond what is approved for their school, na yung tuition and other school fees, talagang kung 1,000 lang yung approved sa start by the regional office, pero nagdagdag sila ng another 1,000, for example, then that should be with the regional office po. Ng
So,
DepEd.
dapat pumunta yung magulang sa regional office. So, that's the answer. May mapupuntahan sa DepEd.
Yes po, Mr. Chair, kasi kami ang nagre-regulate ng tuition.
Okay.
So, issues and concerns about the tuition fees, pupunta talaga sa amin. In fact, tama sinasabi ni Director Quintana na pag tuition fees ang pinag-usapan and other fees, dapat kung ang isang school ay mag-i-increase sa susunod na school year, mag-a-apply sila sa region for tuition fee increase. Tapos, day 1 ng klase, ipapaliwanag ng school doon sa mga parents na ito na ngayon yung aming tuition fee, yung ating tuition fee. Tapos, kung beneficiary ito ng voucher, papaliwanag sa kanila na ito yung...
Mabilis lang tayo, no? Ang point is, pagka may recipient ng voucher program, yung magulang o yung learner, kung may question o may reklamo, dapat makapunta sila sa regional office ng DepEd. Yun lang yun.
Yes.
So, dapat
Mr.
pumunta
Chair.
sila doon.
Yeah.
Okay, ang tanong ko, may records na ba kayo ng ilan ang lumapit sa inyo?
So,
Kung wala ngayon, could you provide this committee? Kasi baka wala eh. Baka walang may alam eh. Or baka pagpunta nila sa regional office, hindi naman talaga sila napapansin. That is why nagkakaproblema tayo. So, could you provide this committee with data on ilan ba ang lumapit sa inyo? Okay lang. Ilan ang lumapit sa inyo at ilan ang na-resolve ba ninyo? At ano yung ginawa ninyo?
we'll check in our database.
Yes. How
Meron
long will
kami
you need to provide that to the committee?
Within the week, I think we can, or next week, we can
Next
provide.
week. Sige, para COMSEC.
Para may
Noted. Yun lang naman ang question talaga kanina eh. Saan sila pupunta? Sinabi mo nyo, regional office.
Yes.
Dahil doon papaliwanagan sa kanila na dapat alam nyo na yan or kung may mali yung school, matawagan yung school.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Congressman Benjo. Benjo. Sir Benjo.
Gandang hapon po, sir. Pareho tayong pink ang favorite color kasi. Ano lang po, no? Siguro mas yun po kasing kanina nababanggit yung legislative intervention. Baka nga po doon sa oversight, no? Kasi kami gusto din po naming malaman ano po, hindi lang yung senior high school kundi pati yung ESC under junior high school. Mabuti na dito po yung taga-PEAC, ano po. Hindi kasi namin malaman paano ito, no? Paano yung system, sino yung mga pwedeng mag-recipient doon sa mga bata. Sa school, mukhang malinaw naman pero sa mga bata. May experience po kasi kami, no? Yung mga teacher po namin na miyembro, nagulat, yung anak daw nila, pagpunta doon sa private school, ay wala nang binayarang tuition or yung top-up na lang. So, hindi naman sila nag-apply, that's one. Pangalawa po, experience din po ito na isa naming kasamahan, po. Yung mga magulang doon sa isang private school ay nagpunta sa kanila at humihingi ng certification na yung mga bata nila ay IELTS student doon sa doon sa public school. But unfortunately, yung public school po ay malayo, mga 3 kilometro. Pero sa paligid po ng private school po niyon, merong mga high schools po doon na public na perhaps hindi nagbigay ng certification na sila ay IELTS student. Kasi that's the first, I think, na binabanggit po ninyo na requirement. Dapat ikaw ay nandun ka sa congested, kaya nga IELTS student, wala ka ng upuan, doon ka na sa aisle, so yun po yung symbolism, so yun po yung gusto naming malaman. And going back to senior high school po, sa Senate inquiry po, lumalabas ay almost 12,000, yung kanina tinatanong ni Honorable Manuel kung ilan, wala pa, yung sabi ni Attorney Tara po, yung ating DepEd ngayon, ng data. Naintindihan naman natin kasi yung 4 po na category na yun, baka pag lahat po ay pumasok doon, baka hindi lang 12,000 kagaya ng sinasabi ng Senado kasi kasama ho dyan yung mga absent, kasama ho dyan yung mga multiple build, po. And then, isa pong epekto nitong na dapat po nating tignan, po, isa pong epekto nito, dumami. Well, para sa amin, yung mga fly-by-night, senior high schools po, na nagkalat, lalo na doon sa amin sa Kamanaba, po. Nagkalat, ang dami po nito, at matutuwa ka kasi nag-o-offer pa to ng mga incentives doon sa mga public schools. Bibigyan nilang incentive kada isang ulo na mag-e-enroll sa kanilang high school. Kapag ganyan, dapat muna natin itong tignan. Seryoso po ito. Ibig sabihin, yung grade 10 ng mga bata ay ino-offer na agad. Merong incentive yung mga bata, free tuition fee, yung may uniform ka na kaagad, meron kang bag or whatever, tapos magugulat na lang sila. Wala namang top-up, of course, pero magugulat sila, ang daming babayaran, may mga field trip, may mga kung ano-ano, po, yun po yung binabanggit naman na din po kanina. At kailangan po itong matignan, kasi sabi ko nga po doon sa isang post ko sa Facebook, di ba, kung ikaw ay naniniwala sa public school system, ikaw ay teacher, ikaw ay principal, dapat i-encourage mo yung mga yung ating mga estudyante na mag-stay sa public school. Kasi we have senior high school program in public schools, ito lang naman kinailangan lang naman po ito nung unang taon ng implementation ng senior high na wala pa talaga tayo, na hindi pa kaya ng ating system. Hindi pa tayo, well, yung binabanggit niyo po kanina, yung strand, yung track ay hindi available, 'di ba? Syempre, kung ano yung interest ng bata at ng kanyang magulang, mahahanapin nila 'yon. At yun ay available at ino-offer ng mga private schools, mga senior high school. Kaya doon sila lumilipat, And siguro yun lang po, ang amin na lamang pong recommendation, dapat merong matindi na monitoring po dito, sa lahat po ng eskwelahan na kasama dito sa voucher program. And lastly, of course, ultimately, dapat po talaga patatagin natin at i-subsidize ng mas matindi, na mas malaki yung ating public school system, dahil yun po yung primary responsibility ng Estado. Yun pong tulong na binabanggit din naman ng saligang batas natin, yung complementary roles nung ating public at private school system, yun naman ay talaga namang kailangan din po, pero hindi po sa tingin namin, hindi po ganitong permanente na talaga, na parang habang buhay na tayong aasa doon sa tulong ng private schools. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Salamat, Sir Benjo. Meron pa ba akong di natawag sa side na to na nagre-raise ng hand? COA. Ano nag-raise ng hand? Wala. Ma'am Lourdes?
Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. So thank you po for the opportunity of being here, Congressman Romulo. Number one po, I want to believe that all of us here are really in good faith, but then because we really need to have real talk on the realities. So tama po, sana imbisigahan natin at i-monitor natin para ma-preserve an integrity of the program ng senior high school. So since 2016 nandyan yan, 2025 na tayo ngayon, what really has happened? I agree, fully agree with Honorable Chair na nakita ba natin talaga, effective ba yan? Very efficient ba talaga yung program? At ano ba talaga ang hangarin yan? Una, natandaan ko ang sabi, kailangan kasi after senior high school, employable na ang mga bata dahil sa kahirapan. Pero nangyari po ba yun? Alam natin ang sagot, hindi. Ang dami kasing college graduate na uunahin bago sa senior high school graduate. And then, another thing, dapat natutulungan din yung mga struggling private school kasi galing sa public school, pupunta sa private school, malaking tulong sana. Pero natugunan ba yung pangangailangan na yun? Hindi. Dahil sino ba ang nakikinabang sa senior high school? Kung sino ang school na maabilidad, smart, tama ang sinabi ni Sir Benjo, talaga pong I know very well, there are schools na bigyan mo ko ng 500 students, 1,000 per head. So half a million yan, bakit naman hindi kukuhanin yan? Yes, sir. I just cannot mention any name, but if you give me the chance to be in a small group, I know very well. Nasasaktan ako kasi kasama ko silang private school. Ang mga private school na naniniwala na education is a school ministry. Hindi ito basta business na magpapayaman. Kaya iwan mo yan eh. So sadly, yung mga school na yon nagsara na karamihan, 600 or even more, kasi sila yung talagang trying to survive on their own. Walang malapitan. At yung formative years, ito yung mga nagpo-produce ng mga preschool, grade 6 na talagang ando ng moral excellence, na after grade 6, pupunta na sila sa science school, pupunta na sa mga school na nagbibigay ng scholarship, kasi papaarali naman yung ibang bata dito sa maliliit na private school, kasi mas affordable, personalized, at natututo ang bata, lalo na yung moral excellence. Sadly, marami nagsara. Ilan ang natitira? Siguro kami yung naniniwala na, yun nga, it's a ministry, and if you serve God, no matter what happens, you have to focus on your goal. So, sayang po, kasi may alam din ako na mga school na, kasi pagka December, eto yung mga gift, anong kailangan ng school, ibibigay, silang bibigyan kaya kahit malayo. And then tanungin natin, tama yung sinabi ni Sir Benjo, maraming nag-establish ng senior high school, 2016, walang kahit na anong, yun nga, sabi nga ni ma'am, kasi wala naman tayo talaga na standard. Basta't kailangan natin yung accessible, dapat yung education ng senior high school. Ang dami talagang tumayo. Makikita nyo asan sila. Minsan nasa itaas na isang building na hindi mo aakalaing may school doon. Pero yung maliliit na school na nagsara at yung mga maliliit na school na nag-struggle kagaya namin, yan yung mga sumunod talaga sa requirement ng DepEd, Learning Continuity Plan, kailangan may ganito kang facilities, andyan, kahit hirap na hirap, pilit ginawa. Pero ang senior high school, eto, nagre-receive sila ng so much fund coming from the senior high school, pero wala yung mga gano'n na the tedious compliance on all the standard given. Kaya nga pag tinanong, may recognition ba ang senior high school? Wala, kasi wala namang standard in the first place. Unlike tong maliliit na preschool na to, bakit sila hindi makaangat hanggang nasa kinder lang sila? I know a lot of them. Kasi wala sila yung mga facilities, walang budget pang facilities. Kaya sige, dito na lang sila. Nasa nursery, nasa kinder, pre-kinder, kinder, pahirapan pa nila makuha recognition nila kasi kailangan they own the place. And they are the ones we are helping na free training sa mga teachers nila. Kung may mga conference, tinutulungan na lang natin para hindi mag-give up. So yun po, no, sana yung purpose natin, sabi nga kanina ni Honorable Manuel, yung proper allocation of resources. Ang sabi rin ni Congressman Presnedi, siguro yung pera ng tao ng bayan, paano natin ginagastos yan? So tanungin natin, talaga ba itong senior high school na to, ito ba ay isang programa na talaga bang naa-address niya, number one, yung pangailangan ng learners, o mas magandang magbigay ng programa para matugunan na maganda yung nilabas ni Congressman Romulo ngayon na mag-take ka lang ng honors exam, pwede ka na magtuloy sa college. Kami, recognized school kami. So, noong 2016, pilit ka ini-encourage, mag-apply ka sa PAYAC, ganyan. Pero kami mismo, we had reservation. Sabi namin, the college and universities are doing well, giving yung freshmen nila all those that we would have to offer in senior high school. Why delay the success of the children? And why burden the parents with additional costs in their tuition fee? We were not for it. Kaya nga lang po, nung dumating yung time na you have to comply, so talagang napipilitan ng mga student namin. Anong sinabi namin sa student namin? Mami, pagka po nag-graduate yung anak nyo, kung saan college or university yung gusto paaralin, doon yun na po pakuhanin ng senior high school. Bakit? Kasi diyan makakasave sila ng 1 taon. Kasi pag halimbawa 5-year course yan, plus 2 years yung senior high school, 7, nagiging 6 yan, nagagawa ng paraan ng college or university. Kagaya ng mga Mapua, kagaya ng mga ibang school, no? Pagka naman 4-year course yan, plus the 2 senior, instead the 6, nagiging 5 na lang. Sayang yung 1 taon na yon. So, because we were not after the money, so I can name to you what are those school. Meron pa nga school, nasasaktan ako. Kasi sabi nga kanina, very timely, no? Yung pilit natin, pinoprotektahan ng ating bansa sa mga nagsasamantala na dayuhan. Pero ngayon, paano natin tutulungan ng ating bansa sa mga nananamantala na kababayan natin? No? Ako may alam, pero I cannot disclose, but it's a school owned by a foreigner. Pero syempre may mga dami na Filipino, thousands of students in your high school, pero makikita mo lang sila sa graduation, and then pag tinignan mo kung saan-saan ang galing. LIS pa lang makikita mo na address ng bata, alam mo din ang address ng school. Bakit natin hindi ma-monitor yon? And then makikita mo to, syempre, foreigner with Filipino dami, nagla-land banking talaga, napakarami. Kasi kaya naman talaga, kaya nang nasasaktan tayo kasi sarili nating bansa ito. Bakit nangyayari yan? So sana po, matignan natin, is this program really a necessity? O baka naman, pwede na natin sa past 8 or 9 years, i-review na natin kung talagang nakita natin na merong pwedeng mas mahalaga na paglaanan ng bayan, ng allocation of resources, gawin natin. Empower po natin. Maganda yung ngayon. Nakita ko nga sa inyo, so I'm thankful to yung executive director natin sa EDCOM 2 na pirmahan na yung budget. Maganda yon. Pero malulungkot ako kung ang mga daycare binigyan ng budget tapos mga hindi teachers ang nagtuturo sa daycare. Kasi alam natin yan, minsan high school graduate lang kahit sino. Ang daming maliliit na preschool na kaya empower. Sana sila, bigyan natin talaga. Kasi kaya po talaga bago mag-grade 1. They can read short stories and paragraph. Ando ng discipline, ang control, kung bibigyan natin talaga ng focus yan. And minsan hindi kailangan ng classroom. Kasi where do they learn nature? Where do they learn everything? All around them. So anyway, basta yun lang po ang gusto ko sanang ibigyang diin. Tanungin muna natin ang sarili natin, is this senior high school really a necessity? Maraming magagalit sa akin ng private school kasi talagang nakita ko naman maraming lumaki, pero dadalhin mo ba yan? Iiwanan mo yan? Ang mahalaga, anong iiwan natin sa bansa natin? We are now one of the 5 poorest country, but we can do something with the help of this official whom we have voted na eto ang puso nandyan, nagpapagod kasama natin. So, and I know a lot of, yung mga parents, totoo po yan. Totoo yan. Kawawa ang mga parents natin sa public school na, sige, libre lahat, pero parang they are at our mercy, no? Kung ano lang yung nandyan. Pero our children deserves much more than that. They deserve much more than that. So, thank you po.
Maraming salamat, Dr. Chua. No? Again, maybe the DepEd can invite some of the private school owners, baka may maitulong rin para ma-improve yung system. At yung mga nabanggit, Attorney Tara?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are very much open naman po to all the complaints of the private schools. In fact,
No, these are not
Binanggit ni
complaints.
Dr. Chua na
These
yung
are
mga
not
alam nila.
complaints. These are real
okay.
talk.
Yung complaints na kasi yung first ko. Pero of course, Mr. Chair, all the suggestions naman po ng mga private schools, we also entertain, of course, especially yung magpapa-revise tayo ng policy na nakapag-improve po ng ating programs po,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair. But I want also to emphasize really the complaints as well. Kasi kami naman po sa Department of Education, as you can see po no, na marami na po tayong na-terminate na private schools. In fact, din po, we are still investigating some. I think yun pa lang yung ongoing natin, 12, but I think we have additional pa po ng mga schools na under investigation. So, maganda kasi po na sana yung itong mga ganitong mga problema natin sa programa, hindi po kasi perfecto po talaga yung isang programa, no? Sana lang din, hindi siya naging, ito na lang yung all and be all ng programa na masira na lang siya because of this certain schools. Na few schools no na naggumagawa nito. Sana din po tingnan din natin yung benefits which PAYAC and DepEd is also working on kasi i-answer ko din po yung tracer study, Mr. Chair. We also sit as representative po kasi sa Unifast, and we ask Chair Popoy na yung pong mga ESC grantees, senior high school voucher grantees natin, sana i-link din po natin yun sa Unifast if ever po beneficiaries pa din po sila ng ating tertiary education. And with that tracer po na using the LRNs, we are hoping also to coordinate with DOLE so that pagka-graduate po nung ating mga beneficiaries, even sa tertiary education, ay matitrace po natin saan po sila pumunta, saan po sila na-employ. And also we can look at the civil service po when it comes to, for those in government na nag-work, ay matrace po talaga natin yung beneficiaries natin para masabi po natin na itong programa natin is hindi naman po siya nagsasayang ng pera. It's just because may konti lang po talaga tayong mga private schools na medyo pasaway po, Mr. Chair.
Pero yan, Attorney Tara, I think yung narinig ko kanina na meron mga arrangements na alam yung ibang private schools na ginagawa ng iba. I think you should also be able to ask the resource persons here, I guess invite them to DepEd para malaman nyo rin kung ano yung nangyayari on the ground. Hindi yung mga na-report, naririnig nyo lang sa iba-ibang, sa konting tao. Pero based na rin ko dito, mukhang alam ng ibang private schools yung iba-ibang arrangements that are happening. Maybe it's also high time to invite them and be able to verify if true or not.
Correct, Mr. Chair. We'll do that. We'll coordinate with the private education office as well,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Kokopea, Director Chua, Dr. Chua, briefly, tas kay ano ko?
I just want to add, siguro tingnan po natin yung sinabi ni Sir Benjo, biglang maraming tumayo na mga senior high school nung time na implement yan. Tingnan natin, sino ba tong mga to? Who are the people behind tong mga school na itinayo bigla senior high school? Ibig sabihin, from nowhere, wala kang basic education, wala kang preschool, wala kang grade school, wala kang junior high school, bigla may senior high school ka, and then you have 500 or even more students. So, sino yung mga yan? There are few that I know, mga retired principals sila from public school.
Well, I guess, again, Dr. Chua, we will also ask DepEd to take a look at Department Memorandum Order number 4, series of 2014. Kasi yan po yung nagbigay ng, parang permit to operate, effectively sa senior high school without, hindi natin sure kung ano yung basis talaga. So, yes, Director Quintana, you want to say something?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's also DepEd Order 51, series of 2015. I think that one is more on the standalone senior high school. So I'd like to clarify lang, ma'am, that while the priority then was accessibility, there were standards that were observed. I mean, meron naman po tayo naging proseso on which schools will be granted the permit to operate. What we don't have currently are guidelines on recognition and monitoring for dun sa mga nabigyan na. Kasi it's been 10 years, di ba? Parang yun po yung hindi na po natin natingnan. But at the time, all of the schools naman po that applied, meron po tayong sinundan na proseso, may mga requirements.
What are the standards?
They were patterned din po after DO 88, series of 2010. So like in terms of facilities and then yung po availability of teachers, meron po.
Walang makakapunta dito sa committee na magsasabi na nabigyan ninyo ng permit to operate na senior high school na standalone na unqualified. Wala kami mahanap na kahit isang ganon.
So si ARD. Mr.
Hindi,
Chair.
because you were very confident to say, and again, yun lang ayoko na parang nagmi-mislead tayo
Yes.
based on what we say.
Yes. Mr. Chair.
Again, you said that may standards
Those-
based on Department
DepEd
Order
order.
number 51,
Yes.
series of 2015. So my question to you is that wala kami mahanap na standalone na senior high school na sa totoo hindi dapat na-recognize, na bigyan lang talaga ng ano?
So, Mr. Chair, there are, in the DepEd order, the standards, the guidelines are provided there. As to the implementation, it is still possible na baka po may mga nabigyan. So, that one po, I cannot categorically say na wala po kayong makikita, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. But the standards are there, but on the policy implementation, yun po, the monitoring ka po kasi, Mr. Chair, yung
Yes, but
nagkulang. Yes.
to be fair, no? Yung implementation at that time should have been done by 2015 para maka-operate ka ng 2016. So those who made the policy actually implemented it also. So in other words, it's possible na hindi sila sumunod sa sarili nilang policy.
Implementation, Mr. Chair, is So the applications are done through, at the time there was a Senior High School National Task Force, and then right now it's after po the first 2 years.
So the Senior High School National Task Force may have given permits na hindi talaga na ano.
We haven't received any reports, Mr. Chair, na may mga ganon. So as to the possibility of finding kung may ganon pong nangyari, I'm not so sure po, but we have not since 2014 have not
Sige.
received.
Ngayon, assuming nabigyan ng permit, every year minomonitor ninyo na may quality yan o hindi?
No, Mr. Chair.
So that's the problem eh. So yung standards provided by the DepEd Order number 51, series of 2015, though in paper may look good, it is, as you said, it is in the implementation eh, hindi rin na monitor eh. So maybe yun yung yun yung mga kailangan yung
That's correct,
matutukan with
Mr.
PAYAC.
Chair. Yes po, that's something we're looking into already.
oo.
Thank
Ako
you,
naman,
Mr. Chair.
on the part of the committee, we just want to help DepEd actually, correct these things. Tama si Attorney Tara, may benefits rin talaga ito eh. Yung voucher system. All that we want to do is to ensure na yung sinasabi ni Honorable Manuel and Fresnedi na siguraduhin naman natin tama yung beneficiaries at matatapos sila na meron namang nabigay naman natin yung role natin na quality education.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Kokopea. Pasensya na. I know Kokopea kanina pa nagre-raise. Please state your name and position in Kokopea.
Attorney John, ako may Managing Director of Kokopea. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We, despite whatever is happening right now, we in the private education would like to give credit to where credit is due. So that's why the Coordinating Council of Private Educational Association is actually commending the diligence and collaborative efforts of DepEd and PAYAC in the implementation of the GASP and voucher programs. We also support their deliberate action in the investigation of the 12 private schools involved in this case. But come to think about it, there are only 12 private schools allegedly involved. Yes, Your Honor. But in the end, I think, based on what I know there are around more than 4,000 who are beneficiaries of this program. And in fact, on our part, private education, I think this is a good program because this is where we actually also get some benefits from the government. In fact, there are measures to push to extend this to elementary and, as mentioned by Attorney Tara, in the UNIFAS tertiary education. So I think we really also need to, it's not perfect, but we need to support it so that we can maintain the sanctity of the program and make sure that only those who are deserving who are receiving it, Your Honor. So our major suggestion, actually recommendation, we look forward because we totally agree with the Honorable Chair that this is no longer just about access. It has been years already. So we are actually pushing for quality assurance, really quality assurance. We are actually looking forward that really tighter measures and stricter guidelines, especially in selecting private schools that are qualified to participate in the HSS voucher program, be really selected. Most of the suggestions right now were given, so we hope it will be put down in a guidelines, clear guidelines that will make us properly implement this. And in that connection, Attorney Ramo mentioned a while ago that they will be reaching to private education. And we at Kokopea actually is extending our hands in assisting in monitoring, guarding our ranks to make sure that we are committed to the proper implementation of the subsidy program, and will continue to work with PAYAC and DepEd for a transparent, fair, quality assured, and effective voucher program. Your Honor. Thank you.
Salamat, Attorney John. Pero para lang proper context, ang Kokopea is a association of private schools.
Yes,
Yes.
Federation po.
Ilan ang members ninyo?
More or less, Your Honor, we have 2,500 member schools.
Sa 2,500 member schools ninyo, ilan na nagpro-provide ng senior high school?
We cannot mention the total na. Mostly, Your Honor, because these are composed of colleges, universities, which also have basic education. But I'm not sure about the small schools, Your Honor.
Ang members ba ng Kokopea are all the big schools lang, walang small school?
Meron po, Your Honor. Most of the big schools are member of SEAP, Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines.
And SEAP is a member of COCOPEA or the other way around? Paano? How is that?
SEAP is a member of COCOPEA.
Is a member of COCOPEA.
Yeah. PACU is a member of COCOPEA. PACU is
Yes.
also large.
So, talagang
Philippine
federation
Association of Colleges and Universities. Federation po talaga siya. Ang medyo small school lang po yung PAPSCO.
Member niya rin.
Member po namin.
Yes. Ang
And
question ko, lahat ng members ng COCOPEA or how many % of the members of COCOPEA are actual beneficiaries of the senior high school voucher?
PAYAC, di ba?
PAYAC.
Your Honor,
100% ba? 90%?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, but I don't have the data right now. But we do collect information on their memberships in associations. Maybe we can provide it siguro to the COMSEC in case na.
Is there do you have at least the numbers na ilan bang nabigyan ng senior high school vouchers na hindi member ng COCOPEA? Meron ganun?
I think marami po ang hindi member ng COCOPEA kasi.
So mga 50% hindi members.
I really can't say, Mr. Chair.
Attorney John, would you know? Or baka naman 80 or 90% COCOPEA members na nabibigyan ninyo?
Not sure, Your Honor. Although,
yun ang problema, not sure na ngayon, bilang ako kasi.
although, Your Honor, COCOPEA, especially the big associations like SEA, PACU, and the AXCO, Association of Christian Colleges and Universities, are actually part of PAYAC, Your Honor.
Oh my God. So, ang nagmo-monitor, the one that monitors compliance are actually the same beneficiaries, are also beneficiaries of the senior high school program, voucher program. That's what I understand now.
No, Your Honor, we only part, but there are also other private educational associations that are benefiting from it.
Correct. But COCOPEA members or certain members of COCOPEA are part of PAYAC. Is that correct? Is that statement fair or hindi?
Actually, no, they're not part of PAC. COCOPEA is not part of PAC.
Or are members or individuals associated with COCOPEA also members of PAYAC?
There are members from
How many
COCOPEA. Schools or
individuals or schools?
Individuals. We have three COCOPEA presidents from associations in COCOPEA.
That's what I mean, Your Honor. The three presidents are members.
That are members of PAC.
So effectively nga, COCOPEA has monitoring over their own schools because part sila ng PAYAC via the three presidents. Is that correct? Hindi, sino ang beneficiary ninyo? Private schools. Correct? For the senior high school voucher program. COCOPEA, malaking federation siya of private schools. Correct?
Correct.
Correct pala, Attorney John, sa yun.
Yes, sure.
Yes. Tanong ko ngayon sa PAYAC, are there members, whether individuals associated with COCOPEA, that also are members or have a hand in PAYAC?
Yes, because the three presidents of PACU, ACSCU, and CAP are also members of PAC.
Is there no conflict of interest there?
It has been the arrangement ever since, Your Honor.
Assuming that has been the arrangement from day one, is there no conflict of interest there?
We think there is no conflict of interest, Your Honor.
Of course.
To add, siguro, the chair of PAC is the Secretary of Education.
That is correct. Pero nandoon pa rin yung yung members. Is that correct? So again, on record, PAYAC is saying na despite that membership, wala ka na nakikita na conflict of interest.
Yeah, as far as the implementation of the program goes, we don't.
As far as the whole, wag na natin i-categorize.
I really cannot say as a whole because I'm limited to program implementation of the ESC and the voucher program. But when it comes to the program, I don't think they have a hand also in the implementation in the three
Yes,
presidents.
but PAYAC is the body that the private body that works with DepEd that oversees the implementation of the senior high school program, voucher program, correct? Sino ang beneficiaries? The private schools. And many of them are members of COCOPEA, correct?
Correct, three. Yeah.
And COCOPEA has membership in PAYAC. So effectively, ang nagbo-monitor sa sarili nila is also the private schools. Attorney John, walang ano doon, walang nothing to be alarmed about, ha?
On our part, Your Honor, nothing to worry about, considering that it actually helps in the assisting and monitoring of the programs of PAYAC, Your Honor. And it has been the arrangement ever since. Since it is also under directly DepEd, because the Secretary of Education is actually the chair of PAYAC.
Correct, but you still have members in PAYAC belonging to beneficiaries of the program. The beneficiary of the program, meron silang tao sa PAYAC. I mean, may members sila that are part of PAYAC, hindi ba? Walang conflict doon, wala kayong nakikita. Para lang kung wala naman talaga, wala kayong nakikita, that's an opinion naman. Pero do you get the point of the question lang kasi? Point of the question is, PAYAC together with DepEd is supposed to monitor na tama ang implementation ng senior high school voucher program. But the composition itself of PAYAC is the private schools pala. Of course, headed by the Department of Education, pero may members siya that have a say. Pero, okay, again, opinion naman yan kung may conflict of interest na wala. And that is the opinion na wala. With that, members, Honorable Fresnetti? Yeah, so before we adjourn, kasi medyo late na and continue this process later, what can we expect from the again, DepEd, kayo naman ang unang nag-announce eh. Sinabi ninyo na meron kayong nahanap na mga schools na may alleged ghost students. Right now, sinabi niyo, if what I read is correct, may ongoing investigation dyan. But we can also see na meron talagang policies na kailangan baguhin ng DepEd. So could we just know ano yung next steps that we can expect before the next committee hearing? Yes, Director Quintana?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll go first and then see Attorney Tara po, if you may, Mr. Chair. First, sir, I'd like to correct lang po. I was informed that DO 51, 2015 is for the public schools. I'll check on the number for the one for private schools, the one I mentioned po na meron nung list of requirements earlier. As to the expectation po from DepEd, Mr. Chair, we because the problems in the senior high school voucher program, such as this, they arise toward the end. They're found out toward the end after all of the billings. But we do recognize that this is also because there's no sufficient monitoring, because there's also a gap in the guidelines. There's a policy gap also in DepEd, and so we'll be amending. We are already in the process of amending DepEd Order 88 series of 2010, and included in that is the recognition process po for senior high schools, which will be followed by certification process po with the Private Education Assistance Committee, so that it will be pattern po, same na po with the ESC, and hopefully that will significantly help in us avoiding cases such as this.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director Quintana. Yes, Attorney Tara?
Mr. Chair, the department, on behalf of the Department of Education, specifically the Government Assistance and Subsidy Service, we would like to thank your committee po, for giving us this opportunity to inform the Filipino people na we have this government assistance and subsidies na program that we are implementing, and that the department is really working on improving the implementation. So just going back to the yung mga layers po natin of checking, Mr. Chair, we already have, I counted sa 5 layers na po tayo with regard to the billings. So Director Quintana for the Private Education Office mentioned about the quality assuring the schools that will be participating in the senior high school voucher program, which includes the recognition, and of course, PAYAC is also moving on the certification din po ng senior high school voucher program. But as to the billings, Mr. Chair, I would like to emphasize na currently sa Department of Education, we're already doing the 5 layers. Okay. First is when the schools create their billings, meron na po tayong application program interface or API wherein yung VMS natin, the voucher management system, will talk to our learners information system so that pag billing pa lang, Mr. Chair, yung mga hindi talaga nasa eskwelahan talaga is madadrop na po siya sa billing statements. Hindi na po siya mai-include. Ngayon, we are not satisfied with that. When the billing comes to the Department of Education, we do a second round of validation. And that is, again, 100% of the billing statements. And when we see that there are discrepancies between the LIS, the Learner's Information System, between the billing statements, we do not release the payments. Kaya po, yun yung pong second layer, no? The third layer, Mr. Chair, would be, although 10% lang po ang chinecheck pa muna na physically ng Private Education Assistance Committee, PEAC, physically sa school, but there's that 10% also would yield yung ensuring talaga na nandun pa rin ba yung mga bata. Okay, that is the post-billing. Fourth layer, Mr. Chair, we also already engaged our regional offices and the schools division offices to check our participating na mga private schools. So they are, we are just waiting for their reports na isasend nila sa amin for school year 2024-2025 para makita po natin kung ano pa po yung kakulangan dito sa ating implementation para masupplement po natin yung ating draft na guidelines. The fifth layer po pala, Mr. Chair, is also the PEAC instituting the 100% checking for the second semester. So kung nandun pa ba talaga yung bata or wala. And then, yun po yung 5 layers natin na i-implement po, Mr. Chair. Although yung 1, 2, 3, ito lang siguro yung pang 5th, yung second semester yung this school year, but the 4 we are already implementing, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Tara, one question na lang because we really have to suspend discussions on this. Kayo naman nagbanggit yung may 12 schools, di ba? That you are investigating.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Sa 12 schools na yon, meron bang member of COCOPEA o wala?
Meron? Wala.
Wala.
Kaya nga kasi nandun ang COCOPEA sa PEAC. Yun yung problema ko Yun yung sinasabi kong conflict of interest
Not necessarily naman po.
Correct,
siguro,
not necessarily, but that is where the problem lies. That's exactly my point. Di ba? Yun yung perception, yun yung sinasabi kong, pasensya na, but yung conflict of interest dun papasok Yun yung point ko. Again,
yes.
I'm not saying na dapat meron. Pero ang point ko, wala nga. Pero nagbabantay rin. Diba? See, again,
Yeah. Although, Mr. Chair, yung 100% naman po natin na billing statement na chinecheck po natin, sala po lahat po talaga, whether members of PEAC or not. So, we'll just look into that portion, Mr. Chair, kasi yung pag-flag naman po natin, pag 1 or 2 lang po yung nag-drop out, we don't really terminate them.
Yes.
So, ito lang talagang mga significant numbers po yung ite-terminate natin. Plus, we are looking at filing criminal cases.
Yes.
So, yun po, Mr. Chair. You are assured naman po na
Sige, yun lang
all private schools are...
Yes, Mr. Mark? From PEAC, Mr. Mark.
Yes, Chair. If there are findings, as mentioned by Attorney Tara, there are also members from COCOPEA that had findings. Yung pa isa-isa, dalawa, nakikita rin naman po namin and it's in our report. It's just that these schools that have major issues lang
That's
talaga. Yung sobrang dami.
Yes.
Pero if there are members from COCOPEA na may findings, meron po. Pero very minimal compared to this schools.
Again, Mr. Mark, because this committee is hearing this, ang gusto lang naman namin na sa minds ng public, kasi nagulat ako sa statement kanina na part yung COCOPEA ng PEAC I actually did not know that. So, in the minds of the public, pag narinig nila yon, syempre yun ang isipin, bakit nagkaganon? But that is why you have to be extra vigilant. You have to make sure na sinisigurado ninyo na hindi talaga, wala kayong pinapaboran. Because nga yung pwedeng magka-impression lang. rightly or wrongly, pwede magka-impression, di ba? So, kailangan talaga, siguraduhin niyo yung standards, yung ginagawa niyo, tama talaga. Because sa 5 levels na sinabi ni Attorney Tara, crucial kayo sa ibang levels doon eh. Well, based on what Attorney Tara was saying, the 5 levels of checking, di ba? So, yun lang, sana siguraduhin niyo lang para walang doubt.
Point taken, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. With that, any member, can we suspend consideration of this briefing by the DepEd on the alleged ghost students?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn this.
One last lang, 1 minute lang. Oh, ayan. DepEd lang, in 1 or 2, 2 minutes or less, or 5 minutes less. May nagtatanong kasi na anong plano ninyo? Ano ba ang plano niyo talaga with the heat that is happening now? Will you really go back to asynchronous? Are you ready to respond to that here in this committee? Kasi I think may nanunod, may nagsabi lang sa akin na matanong lang sa inyo kung ano ba ang plano now with this heat temperature being so high. Ano ang plano for quality education?
Your Honor, I can speak for the region.
Yes.
And also in Manila because I am the concurrent SDS of Manila. The usual thing we do is we have prepared our schools, individual schools, their contingency plan in terms of...
yes, we heard that. So ang contingency plan ba is asynchronous muli? Meaning...
we have 2 options na lang. If we will not conduct face-to-face classes, dalawa na lang ang option natin. It's online and modular. But basically, in some division offices, they don't have the capacity to implement the online class. So we resort to modular classes.
May pag-aaral na ba kayo na effective ba talaga paano kung erratic rin, yung hindi consistent yung ating wifi? Kahit sa Metro Manila, hindi nga consistent. Yung modular, paano nga kung kulang nga based on all international assessments, kailangan nga ng comprehension eh. So, paano yun? Kung ganun, will that be as effective as face-to-face?
The materials that we are using right now are the materials that we've been using also.
Honorable Manuel?
In the past. So, yun
Short lang,
ang
Mr. Chair, and thank you for bringing up this very timely topic kasi while short-term na tugon ang online or modular learning kapag may class suspensions, pero then again, as part of our adaptation sa lumalalang init, I can't imagine kung ganito pa rin ba ang ating magiging tugon 5 to 10 years from now. Ibig sabihin ba every March and April ay ganito yung fallback natin. So, kailangan din talaga sa ahensya, meron tayong long-term na plano kasi nga we expect this to be an issue every year na. Yan lang, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Honorable
Yes, Mr. Chair. I've been talking to the different principal of the my district. And the problem that I've been hearing from them, the module that being provided by the DepEds is sometimes the module for first quarter was delivered or is delivered second quarter. And sometimes even third quarter, Mr. Chair. And this is, the reactions of the principal. Ito, na lang to, souvenir na lang namin. Ito, dapat hindi nagmastos ang national government. This is common in all schools, in all schools in the city of Muntinlupa. This is happening. I just want to bring it to this committee regarding this deteriorating quality of education because it started with the problems of the makings of DepEd in not providing textbook because in textbook wala ho Mr. Chair na level na talagang nakakumpleto. In fact, do sa grade 7 out of 11 subjects 2 lamang ang may textbook. sa ibang mga level, mga 4 lamang may textbook, pero hindi pa kompleto. Yung palang module, Mr. Chair, I have learned that yung palang module, may sagot pala sa likod. Is that true? I just would like to know from the representative of DepEd.
Kumbaga self-checking na yung yung modules eh.
Actually, yung mga answers doon sa mga activity sheet, supposedly, nasa kay teacher yun. Baka yung copy na ipamudmod, nasama yung copy ni teacher.
I'm sorry, lahat po. Ganun sinasabi eh.
Kasi yun yung supposedly, the
At
approach.
yun nga ang problema na halimbawa po, first quarter, pag-deliver second quarter. Talagang hindi na ho nagagamit. Yun ang common problems po.
Actually, ang ginawa natin doon sa mga previous years na mga delayed delivery, kasi magagamit pa man siya the following year. Kasi yung ibang mga module natin ay reusable. Pero kasi di naman nagamit. So ang ating instruction sa field is that if it's not used this time, then it should be kept, then it should be used for the following year. So yun ang ating strategy. That is for some areas na may mga concerns doon sa delivery.
Well, I think the problem really started in the DepEd.
Director Eco, no? At least, ito yung point eh. Hindi naman talaga effective yung modules or hindi siya as effective as face-to-face. Hindi rin as effective yung online. So sana hindi yun yung magiging sagot natin. Alam ko yung iba sabihin na yung long-term ayusin yung infrastructure. Pero again, matagal pa yun bago maayos kasi kulang nga tayo ng at least 165,000 classrooms, di ba? So sana i-consider na rin ng DepEd na bawasan yung subjects, siguraduhin natin yung functional literacy. Dapat may reading comprehension, grade level appropriate, at yung math grade level. Kaysa pipilitin natin na modules na 11 subjects sa grade 7 na delayed naman pala dumarating, siguraduhin lang natin at least yung very basics, grade level appropriate, at least yun ang mabigay natin eh. Kung a few hours lang talaga pwede sa school. Pero kung checklist lang na nadaanan na bigay yung 11 subjects, parang wala ring wala ring mapupuntahan eh. Kailangan lang natin ma-equip ng basics, grade level appropriate So kailangan yung grade 11, sigurado natin nakabasa siya ng grade reading comprehension niya, grade 11 level appropriate. Yung math rin importante yun eh. Kaysa pilit tayo ng pilit na lahat na lang tapos i-online natin na talaga hindi consistent eh. Nakakat rin eh. So at least for consideration lang. With that, any other matters? Kung wala, yes, Honorable Fresnedi?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm going to adjourn this meeting.
There's a motion to adjourn, duly seconded by motion to adjourn by Honorable Fresnedi, duly seconded by the Honorable Manuel. If there's no is there any objection? Chair, none, same is approved. Maraming salamat sa atin lahat. This meeting is now adjourned.